From Halifax now with this story. A woman from Nova Scotia, Audrey Parker, her name, just 57 years old, took her own life today after fighting for her cause to change Canada's assisted dying laws. CTV's Todd Battis is standing by with the very latest on this. Todd, what do we know?
Yeah, hey, Todd, I'm going to read you a line. We just got a press release, if you will, a media release. We were told this is how her death would be announced by friends who were at her side. So, look, the first line, Audrey Jane Parker, 57, died peacefully at home in Halifax today, surrounded by family and friends after a courageous 2.5-year journey with breast cancer. She chose to die today under the medical-assisted dying program. While her death was beautiful, the end-of-life experience she wanted, it was earlier than she would have liked, and that pretty much caps off the lobbying and the intense work that she did in the public to talk about her situation and what she felt was an injustice with the current law as it stands.
Can I ask you a little bit about the background on this case and why it's generated so many headlines, Todd? Canadians talking about it coast to coast.
Right. So we've had the medically assisted death law now for a couple of years, Todd. Goes back to the spring of 2016. And this is a sort of an area that hadn't really been spoken of a whole lot. And really, Audrey Parker brings this to the fore. And it's something that other Canadians are dealing with as well. And certainly something that Dying with Dignity, which is an advocacy group, is going to be bringing up in the coming days. And that is this, that if a patient wants to die through a medically assisted death, they have to be able to give consent in the final throes of their illness. So you have to be of sound mind to give that consent just before you die. It's a very difficult thing to do because, and in the case of Ms. Parker, what she was concerned about is because she was on such heavy doses of pain medication, she felt that she wouldn't be able to give that consent in the last moment. So instead of choosing to die around Christmas or perhaps in the new year as she wanted, she moved the date up to know it would come at a time in which she would have all her faculties and she'd be able to do it. So this is something that, you know, she talked about anytime she could in the media here on the East Coast. Of course, it became national, and others are taking up her cause now.
And she talked about her death as being a political act, Todd, exactly for those reasons. And what are we hearing from the federal government on this? Are they willing to consider very carefully the message from Audrey Parker?
Well, the health minister says, look, if I could change this for Audrey, I would have. We've got to back it up a little bit here, Todd. There is a panel review that is looking at the law as it stands now. That is expected to be tabled in December. Certainly gives the federal government an opportunity to say we can't say anything about this situation until we see what's in that review. And that's certainly what the health minister, Jeanette Petitpas-Taylor, has been saying. On the one hand, feel very sorry for her, but we can't change the laws for one person. Is this something the federal government is going to make an amendment in this law before an election? Is it something that's going to end up in the courts? We spoke to a legal expert yesterday, a professor at Dalhousie Law School, who thinks that that's where this is headed.
Todd Battis in Halifax with the latest on this story. Thank you for this, Todd. Good to have you with us.